I couldn't think of a better way to spend 20 minutes, not even 20, 15 minutes with a sandwich in your hand. It's lunchtime on a Friday. Let's find out more about what's going on in the jobs and employment market throughout Australia. Hi there, my name's Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of People2People in Australia and the UK and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. And this is P2P Live, where we'll tell you everything that's going on in the jobs market. You can comment or ask questions throughout the broadcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Just pop your questions in there. We can see them straight away, and we can get to them in real time. But today we've got a lot to talk about. We've got the Internet Vacancy Index, or the job ads that numbers across Australia this week that were released. So that'll be our stat of the week. We've got a permanent opportunity to talk to you about, and also a temporary opportunity for Australia. And of course, we've got a couple of opportunities overseas, one in New Zealand and one in the UK. So if you're a working holiday maker, or you're thinking about going or making the trip across the ditch or across to the other side of the planet, then we've got you covered with those vacancies as well. And finally, we've got the Twitter poll results from last week, where we asked, would you be willing to work longer hours in a day in order to, so would you be willing to work 4 days, but longer hours rather than 5 days? We'll have those results for you as well. But let's get into this week's employment stat of the week. So the Australian Internet Vacancy Index was released this week, and it was interesting to see the numbers across each of the states. And that's what I have here in front of you. So the total job advertisements by state and territory seasonally adjusted, with the change over the month and the change over the year. So you can see the particular note is New South Wales, which is down 1.2% over the month and down 2.9% over the year. So slightly off year on year and slightly off month on month. But I can tell you it's about 30% higher than pre-pandemic levels. So don't let that news tell you that the market is in substantial decline in New South Wales. It's not. Victoria, up year on year, but down, up month on month, but down year on year. It's a little bit more bumpy in Victoria. That's our experience at People2People. Queensland, man, it's holding ground with up 0.7 over the month and up an enormous 12.7 year on from the same period last year. That's substantial. South Australia, up year on year, but slightly coming off. The holding ground in South Australia. It's still hard to find quality talent. I was speaking to Peter Seaman from our Adelaide office just earlier today. Western Australia, 3.8% up year on year, 3.3 month on month. It is a strong market in WA. That's coming off some really high numbers. So the WA market continues to bubble and boil with some pretty extreme talent shortages. So if you're looking for a role over west rather than over east, then we've got some opportunities. Please jump on the phone. Tasmania, up 21% year on year, up 5% month on month. It is strong down south. Northern Territory, up 20% or 19.4 for the year, and up 8%. Things are really taking off up there. Where it's not, though, is the ACT. But again, I'll reinforce this, that we are still substantially higher than pre-pandemic levels, although month on month down 3.2 and down 0.5% year on year in the Australian Capital Territory, I should say. That's it. That's our stat of the week. Couple of hot jobs in Australia this week. Here's the first one. It's an inventory control analyst. It's a temp role, $35 to $40 an hour in Sydney's West Picton. where you'll be investigating inventory discrepancies, generating reports and doing reconciliations. You need to have a high attention to detail and some good Excel skills. Pearl is your consultant in our Parramatta office, Pearl C at people2people.com.au, or you can hit apply now in the comments, or just pick up the phone if you'd like to know more information. 82709712 is Pearl's number in Western Sydney there. Here's the permanent opportunity of the week. That's a legal secretary in Melbourne. Natalie Clark is the consultant you need to speak to. 75,000 plus super, matter management, monthly billing processes, and assisting with the preparation of court documents. You need to be a proven legal secretary, so you've got to work before you get in front of the competition if you've got an Elite 3E or iManage, although those are not necessary. 03 9098 7424 is Natalie's number, or hit apply now in the comments below to see more detail on that particular role. They're our Australian jobs of the week. Okay, here's a couple of opportunities in the UK and in New Zealand. If you're looking for a working holiday, maybe you're an Australian wanting to go on a working holiday, or you're a Kiwi wanting to return home, or a UK resident thinking, you know what, I need some of that London summer action. And here's your first opportunity. It's a design assistant. It's a temporary role paying 12 to 15 pounds per hour. Working for a design agency in the UK. You must have AutoCAD, SketchUp and Enscape, and it's a unique opportunity to gain exposure to multiple aspects of the industry. You need to have experience of filing residential planning applications and are competent at using AutoCAD to produce those technical drawings. Hannah Scanlon is the person that you need to speak to in our London office, hannah.scanlon at people2people.co.uk, or you can just hit apply now in the comments to find out more about that opportunity in London. Here's a video, though, of the position that we have available across the ditch in Auckland.
Hey guys, I'm currently working with a global production and manufacturing company that's looking for a recruitment consultant to join the team for the next 3 months. This role is located in Albany on the North Shore, and it is a fully in-office role, but they do offer flexible working hours. They're paying $31 up to $36 an hour, plus 8% holiday pay depending on experience. They are looking for someone who has end-to-end recruitment experience, as well as a great communicator who enjoys meeting and speaking to new people. If you feel like this is a role for you, please get in touch on my information below.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about productivity out there at the moment, particularly because 90% of Australians work in the service sector. So we thought we'd get some tips on how to improve your productivity by having a chat to Demi from our Sydney Temp and Contracting team. G'day, Demi. How are you today? So you've got some great tips for us on how to improve productivity. What have you got?
Yes, so I have come up with 3 ways that we can improve productivity, 3 helpful tips. Firstly, my first tip would be breaking the tasks into smaller and more manageable pieces. So often we are procrastinating because we feel overwhelmed with the task that is put in front of us. So if we break the task down into the smaller pieces, it does make it feel more manageable and less daunting at the same time. It can also make it easier to firstly get started, and you know what you need to focus on, one small piece at a time. So that was my first one. My second tip is setting specific goals and deadlines for yourself. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. So setting clear goals and deadlines, this can help you stay focused and motivated at the same time. Instead of saying you want to finish a project soon, set a time frame or a deadline and be like, I want to have this project finished by the end of next week. This can also help you in the long run by prioritizing your work and avoiding putting things off. So getting those things that we are avoiding done as well. And lastly, Mark, I will finish on eliminating distractions. So I think
sounds like me. Are you trying to eliminate me? Because I know I'm a distraction in the office.
Oh, you would be lucky. So I think this is good for all of us. So as everyone knows, distractions can be the major source of procrastination. So if we try to eliminate or reduce distractions just as much as we possibly can, it can be little things such as turning off your mobile device, closing unnecessary tabs on your computer or your screen that you do have in front of you, or shifting to a more quiet environment that is distraction-free as well, that can help you stay focused. So they are my 3 tips on improving productivity for you today.
They're pretty cool. Thank you very much for that. I know that I was always told by my teachers that I was both distracted and distracting. So I think the last one is a big one for me. I'll just say to everybody too, I use there's a couple of tools that in Microsoft suite, I suppose. Like I use the to-do list to set my priorities. And you can also use the tools on your phone to make it go quiet for particular times in the day. I know that they can be really help. Oh, apparently Terry on YouTube says, my tip is to improve productivity is about 5 cups of coffee in the morning. So thanks, Terry. I don't know about that. I don't think I need any more stimulation. So now you're in our Sydney office, Demi. I know that, but I can hear your New Zealand accent, and I know that people are watching in the UK as well. So tell me, who's going to win the Rugby Union World Cup in France this year?
Oh, Mark, I think that's a no-brainer. Always supporting our men in black back home.
Well, you have an Irish background, do you?
So, yeah, absolutely. I am definitely all for the All Blacks for this Rugby World Cup in France.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for joining us again today, Demi, and for those productivity tips. We'll be back in a second with the Twitter update poll. Here we go. So we were going to say, would you be willing to work longer hours in a day in order to work a 4-day week? Now, I know the results of this for the UK were 70%, but Australians are at nearly 80%. Hashtag P2P Australia Live. 80% of Australians say, yeah, I would work longer hours for 4 days so that I get that day off. So that's really quite a profound result there, and something that I suppose doesn't really surprise me. There's been a couple of organisations that are experimenting with 4-day weeks over the 5 at the moment. So that, to me, says that there's change coming. Here's this week's poll, and you can vote on this poll simply by going to @People2People on Twitter or visiting our LinkedIn page as well. Have you considered taking a second temporary job or a side hustle due to the cost of living? Hashtag P2P Live Australia. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Vote, and we will be announcing the results of that poll next week. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on P2P Live. We'll do it all again, 12:30 next week on Friday. We'll see you then.